Well, just when you thought things couldn't get any worse for the Buffalo Sabres, they somehow do. And what an embarrassment the last month has been for this entire organization, because it was not that long ago that they were in a playoff spot. As we were getting ready for Thanksgiving, they went out to the California road trip. They win all 3 games. Vibes are high. How do they respond? By losing a ton of games at home. Last night, they lose their 11th straight game to the only team in the Eastern Conference that had a worse record than them. And now the Sabres are all the way at the bottom of the Eastern Conference. So to climb out of this feels like it's almost impossible given the way that they have played. Hockey is weird. They could go on a run, but to me, something needs to change. And the most disheartening thing is that nothing probably will. When you think about things that could change, here are the realistic things. First one is that they make a change at general manager, but I don't get the sense that that's going to happen. 2, they make a big trade. But why would they let the general manager, who might be here long-term, might not be here long-term, make a big trade unless they're for sure saying he's going to be here long-term? And is that the right decision to do? Like, should he be the guy moving forward? And then the third thing would be to get a new coach, which is definitely not going to happen after they hired Lindy Ruff a couple months ago. Lindy Ruff is not, like, he deserves some criticism here for sure. But I also think coaches just don't forget how to coach, right? Like, the guy's won a ton of hockey games in the league. I think it's a combination of all of those things. The constant here is ownership. They have never been good under the Terry Pegula ownership, but nothing can change that, right? So they just have to kind of luck into figuring this stuff out, and I don't think they will. And all of the reports from earlier in the week that Terry Pegula flew to Montreal, talked to the team, gave them a vote of confidence, and said the solution is in this room. When you hear stuff like that, it makes me really think that they believe it and that that's what they're going to continue to do. This is my final closing thought. This is something that I was posting about on social media last night. The Sabres drought now is way worse than the Bills drought ever was, and it's not even close. I know the Bills drought was longer. The Bills were a mediocre team stuck in a division with maybe the greatest dynasty in the history of the NFL. They were stuck against Tom Brady. They were basically playing for 2 playoff spots every single year. Up until recently, more teams in the NHL made the playoffs every year than missed the playoffs. It should not be this hard to put together a competent hockey team. We're not talking about a good hockey team. We're talking about an average, competent hockey team. They have not been able to do that, and I don't know if they ever will. Obviously, sometime it'll get better, but it just feels like this was supposed to be a year where they took a step forward, and instead they have fallen on their face. And just like I said at the beginning, you thought things couldn't get any worse, and then you watch them lose 6-1 to Montreal. Just unacceptable.